book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, serves as the foundation for understanding God's relationship with humanity and the origins of the world. Its name derived from the Greek word Genesis, meaning origin or beginning, aptly captures its purpose of explaining the creation of the universe, humanity, and God's covenant with his chosen people. Genesis is traditionally attributed to Moses and is divided into two main sections: the primeval history, chapters 1 through 11, and the patriarchal narratives, chapters 12 through 50. Through its stories, Genesis introduces key themes of creation, sin, judgment, and redemption, setting the stage for the rest of the biblical narrative. The book opens with the story of creation. In the first chapter, God creates the heavens, the earth, and everything within them over 6 days, declaring his work good. Humanity, created in God's image, is given dominion over the earth and is tasked with stewardship of creation. The seventh day is sanctified as a day of rest, establishing the Sabbath. Chapter 2 provides a more detailed account of the creation of man and woman, Adam and Eve, who live in the idyllic Garden of Eden. They are given freedom but are commanded not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The harmony of creation is disrupted in chapter 3 when the serpent tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. Adam and Eve disobey God, introducing sin and death into the world. As a result, they are expelled from Eden, and humanity begins its struggle with sin, suffering, and alienation from God. Despite this fall, God promises redemption through the seed of the woman, foreshadowing the ultimate defeat of evil. The narrative of humanity's early history continues with the story of Cain and Abel, the first siblings. Cain's jealousy leads him to murder Abel, marking the spread of sin among humanity. The genealogies that follow show the multiplication of people on earth, but they also highlight the increasing corruption of humanity. This culminates in the Great Flood, a judgment sent by God to cleanse the earth of its wickedness. Noah, a righteous man, and his family are chosen to survive. God commands Noah to build an ark, saving his family and representatives of every animal species. After the flood, God establishes a covenant with Noah, symbolized by the rainbow, promising never to destroy the earth by flood again. In the aftermath of the flood, the Tower of Babel narrative demonstrates humanity's continued rebellion against God. The people attempt to build a tower to reach the heavens, defying God's command to spread across the earth. In response, God confuses their language, scattering them across the globe. This marks the end of the primeval history and the beginning of the patriarchal narratives. The second half of Genesis shifts focus to God's covenant relationship with the patriarchs: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. This section begins with God's call to Abram, later renamed Abraham, instructing him to leave his homeland and journey to Canaan. God promises to make Abraham the father of a great nation and to bless all nations through him. Despite moments of doubt and struggles, Abraham's faith in God's promises remains steadfast. He and his wife Sarah eventually have a son, Isaac, in their old age, fulfilling God's promise of an heir. The covenant is further solidified when Abraham is asked to sacrifice Isaac as a test of faith. At the last moment, God intervenes, providing a ram as a substitute and affirming his covenant with Abraham. Isaac's story continues the narrative of God's covenant. He marries Rebekah, and they have twin sons, Esau and Jacob. Jacob, though the younger son, receives the blessing of the covenant through a series of events marked by cunning and divine providence. Jacob's life is one of transformation. After wrestling with God, he is renamed Israel, signifying his role as the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob's 12 sons become central figures in the story, particularly Joseph. Joseph's narrative dominates the final chapters of Genesis. Favored by his father, Joseph incurs the jealousy of his brothers, who sell him into slavery in Egypt. Despite his suffering, Joseph remains faithful to God and rises to prominence as Pharaoh's advisor due to his ability to interpret dreams. Joseph's wisdom and leadership save Egypt and surrounding nations from a severe famine. When his brothers come to Egypt seeking food, Joseph forgives them and ensures their survival, demonstrating God's providence and grace. The book concludes with Jacob's blessings on his sons and Joseph's death, leaving the Israelites in Egypt, where they will grow into a great nation. Genesis encapsulates profound theological themes that resonate throughout the Bible. It presents God as the creator and sustainer of all life, emphasizing his sovereignty and goodness.